Hi, I'm Lynn.
And hi, I'm Leslie.
And today we want to show you the Accuquilt Go Big Circles die.
And that's a cool die. There's lots of great circle sizes there.
That's right. I love it because it's very difficult to cut circles accurately by hand. And this die is designed to coordinate with our other circles dies, in particular the 2-inch, 3-inch, and 5-inch. This die has the 4-inch, 6-inch, 7-inch, and 8-inch circles.
Very cool.
Lots of fun there. And then the 8-inch circle especially coordinates really well with the new Go Big 10-inch square. And we're going to show you a little bit about that with the pattern that comes with this die here in just a little bit. This is the retro circles pattern that comes with the die, and it's just, you can see the 10-inch square here, and then the 8-inch, 6-inch, and 4-inch circle design that makes up that block.
It's a fun use of the circles, isn't it?
Yeah, I love the whole circle and square. It's very trendy, and you see it. They're
very in right now, circle sizes and shapes.
That's right, and so you can layer the different circles and come up with a lot of different patterns. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're just going to show how to cut this. These Go Big dies are compatible with the new Go Big electric fabric cutter, which we have right here, and all of your rules, though, with cutting with Go dies are the same. So we've got fused fabric that so you can cut up to 4 layers with the fused 100% cotton fabric, and 6 layers with the non-fused. And with the two-tone foam, you just layer your fabric right over the shape that you want to cut. And you can easily, because you can easily see where you're.
You do want to get at the whole circle.
Right, because I have a tendency to cut a partial circle. Okay, so let's make sure that that's right. And then we're just going to put our mat on top, and because it's electric, we've got to turn it on.
And we can pick what circle sizes we're doing on the die. So we're not cutting them all at one time.
That's
all
correct.
Sizes.
And okay, so I'm just going to get this started. And if you were just cutting one of the circles, you could definitely use a smaller mat and just make sure that whatever you want to cut is covered with the mat, and you can run that through the cutter.
Very cool. And Lynn, sometimes I don't always fuse my fabric. Were you aware of that for applique?
I wasn't. Let's hear more about that.
Well, because of the thickness, if you're going to layer your applique pieces where you start to get 3 or 4 thicknesses to it, the needle of your sewing machine when you go to start stitching might give you some issues. It doesn't always stitch through all of that thickness, and you'll see skipping stitches, or the blanket stitch doesn't get completed, and that's because the weave isn't separating because of the fusible. Okay. So sometimes if I know I'm going to stack layers, I would just run it through and just use a basting spray on the back of my shape then to hold it in place while I'm stitching it down. One fabric I like to particularly do that with is batiks, because they are a higher thread count, so they're not going to ravel as much. Okay. Regular print, it's a little more challenging because you are going to get some ravel. If you are going to stitch your edge down anyhow, you're going to be okay.
Okay. So. All right. Well, I love having lots of options when we're doing different types of quilts.
The other thing we need to cut is a 10-inch square with a 10-inch die, and so that's a really nice another use of that die board. Cutting that square. And for positioning, a really quick trick is just to take that 10-inch square, and I like to fold it in force and to give it a pressing, and that's going to give me my center lines for lining up.
And that's a great tip that no, you don't have to mark or do anything like that, and you get the circle still placed right in the center.
And so then if I do the same thing with my circle quarter, I can line that right up on the fold, and I have it totally positioned in the center. And if I do that with each one, they're going to be right there, and it's going to be a perfect bullseye.
So we were talking about how this quilt top is between the fast cutting and the accurate cutting, and then these quick and easy tips. You could put this whole quilt top together, and maybe not all the stitching, but in an evening.
You definitely could. And change colors, it'd be a cute baby quilt, I think. Wouldn't it?
Right, lots of options.
Some fun there. And so once I have these all down and fused, then I'm going to go to the machine and do some decorative stitching. And that's another fun thing to play with our machines. Our machines have such great stitches and options today. Why not use them? Each round could be a different stitch. I could play with threads and have different colors going around. Could even do some decorative stitch rings with some of the circle makers and things now on machines into the actual circles. It'd be really fun.
I want to go home right now and make this quilt. I want to hear more about this technique, though, that what you did here on that part.
We wanted to embellish on this one, and I went out hunting for yarn, and after about, a whole half a day looking for yarn and not finding the colors of the type I wanted, I came back and got my feet of my machines out, and I grabbed my couching foot. So this is an attachment that most machines you can get to your machine, and it kind of creates your own ribbon. And so I just took embroidery floss, different colors, and put it through the couching foot, and then the machine will actually stitch down and attach it.
And you can use different types of your fancy stitches, right?
Yes,
For
and
that,
it's good to play a little bit before you commit to the quilt because they do give different looks to the decorative stitches tacking it down.
Right, yeah, so yeah, that's a good one that you maybe start on a test block before you actually go onto your actual one. At Accuquilt, you cut time
So you can quilt more.